Hi, welcome to my channel. This is a download that I received this morning from Spirit, so I felt called to share it with you guys. This message will not be for everybody. I don't believe that everybody will be ready to necessarily hear this, but for those who do, this is for you. This is for somebody though. So just on my YouTube today, a lot of suggested videos were popping up about just our modern day society, what's common, people not committing to relationships, people not committing to really anything, people partying, people living a certain lifestyle that revolves around drinking, for some, other forms of intoxication, drugs. And these are all things I've done. So this is no judgment. This is literally just a download that I received that is for whoever, this is for however it's meant to trigger you. Like, I'm just the vessel. So this isn't any judgment because, again, I've done all of these things. So I have no place to judge anybody. But people bouncing from relationship to relationship, from person to person, not seeing them, choosing not to see people, choosing to see people for what they can get out of them, seeing people for what they have to offer, seeing people for how they look or their bodies or what's physically pleasing to them, what's who looks like they'd be, good sex-wise, attracted to the physical, going after things that bring physical pleasure or wealth, or and there's nothing wrong with obviously wanting those things. But what I'm seeing is it coming at a cost. For those that live a certain lifestyle of choosing not to seek deeper, meaningful purpose in their lives. There is, I'm getting chills as I say this, but there is a truth that lies in all of us. There's a truth for these certain people that I hope I'm talking to. I hope that I'm talking to somebody who can relate to this and will be like, wow, like this is God speaking to me right now. I really hope that this is to you who needs this. There is a truth inside of you that when you are not out partying, when you are not at the strip club, when you are not, distracting yourself with that person, or when you're not sleeping around, or when you're not with those toxic friends that dump all their problems on you and you just get to, sit back and relax and not have to think about your own or talk about your own. Or you're distracted by porn, watching porn, finding distractions, just immersing yourself in creating, in bringing in more money, working 3-4 jobs to distract yourself. I'm talking to you. And the message for you is that there is a truth that every time you are alone, mostly right before you're about to fall asleep, first thing in the morning, there's this truth, there's this voice inside of you calling you, saying, hey, you want more, you want deeper, you want more meaningful, you want to connect. You don't want to associate yourself with people who don't give a fuck. So why are you still choosing to live this lifestyle when you want deeper, when you want a deeper, meaningful connection, when you want a deeper, meaningful connection with God? This is what you really want. You want a relationship with God. You want a relationship with your purpose, with yourself, with your own divinity. Our relationship with Source, with God, with Spirit is ultimately what our relationship to everything else is reflected by. You're choosing to keep distracting yourself, but there's going to come a moment where you break down. And this isn't to scare you. This is pivotal for you. There's going to be a moment where you're tired of sleeping with random people or having meaningless relationships with people, always searching for the hottest next thing in multiple regards. Being with somebody just because of what they look like. There's going to come a point where none of that fulfills you anymore. And I feel for who I'm talking to, it doesn't at this point. It's almost empty. It's like, I feel like you feel empty. You feel empty. And it's because Spirit is showing you that what you're striving for right now, what you're giving your attention and your energy is not for you anymore. You're trying to be elevated. You're being called to be elevated. And I pray that a lot more of us can come to this realization, because I just see so many people in this mainstream society just really losing sight of the real meaning of things, losing sight of what matters. And it's not having the biggest butt. It's not, getting, having the most followers, having the most likes, having the most money. It's not about any of those things. We're all out here so scared of connecting to others because of people hurting us, because of things that we've been through, because we felt abandoned, we felt unseen, unheard. So we choose to not see or hear others for who they truly are and what they're truly saying. And this is, it's painful for me to see at this point in my journey, just seeing so many people just throwing themselves at others, like choose me, or see me. If you're not going to see me for who I am, at least see me for my body. At least, if you're not going to see me for my mind, I'll just take me as I am. Just take my body. Like that's really what I'm seeing. And I've been there and it's just become so mainstream. It's become so mainstream to not commit, to not try, to not connect deeply to somebody, because we're seeing everything through pain. We're seeing everything through what people have done to us. So nobody's done this for me, so I'm not going to do it for anybody else. Lack of compassion, lack of presence, lack of love. And how do you know what love is? How do you even know how to be love? How to connect? How to hear somebody? How to see somebody for who they are if it's never been done to you? If it's never been done for you, or if you've been hurt every time you tried to show somebody who you are. How? God. That's how. That's how. You surrender. You surrender. You say, I am completely at the hands of the will of God, of the most divine source of love. Where love comes from. Where love comes from, that is where I can get love. That is where I can feel what love really is. People are so scared to be on their own. People are so scared to be alone. People are scared of the feeling of loneliness. Scared of losing the people that they think love them, that they spend the most time with, but that really aren't good for them. People who really don't have your best interests. People that, are just worried about having a good time. When you're there suffering, you're better than that. And you know that. And you're being called to want better. There's a divine course of action that's happening for the people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone and leave these old lifestyles behind, to leave what they've known, what's been so familiar to them. Cutting people out of your life that you know don't serve you, that you distract yourself with because you think you're having fun with them. But the second you leave that party, or the second you leave their presence, the second you sober up, you feel empty. Why? Because you're distracting yourself from the truth that you want more for yourself. Let that be enough. Realize that you're worthy of more. There are so many of us out here that have had to travel that same path, myself included. I've had to cut out lifestyles, people that I considered family for the sake of my higher calling, for the sake of something deeper that I knew I could have if I just let go of what doesn't serve me and what brings me down and what won't allow me to shine my light. People that were dimming my light, keeping me stuck because they didn't want to see me do better for myself. For myself, they didn't want to see me do better. And these people have seen me at my worst and didn't give a fuck. And I know I'm talking to somebody who can totally relate. These people didn't give a shit about me. They gave a shit about, sucking me dry of my light, of what I bring to the table, because I bring a lot. I bring a lot of empathy. I bring a lot of compassion. I bring a lot of friendship at the true definition of the word. And I am a vessel of love. And I've always been a vessel of love, no matter how dark things have gotten for me. I've used people as a distraction as well. I am not innocent. I use people as a distraction. I use drinking as a distraction. I use partying as a distraction. Why? Because I was scared of being called. I was scared of my name being called because I knew if my name was called, that where I was going wouldn't be what I've known. It would be leaving my comfort zone. I would have to step up. I would have to step up and I would have to trust. I didn't even know what trust was. I never trusted a damn person in my life. And it is one of the scariest things to do, is to fully trust God. Especially in a moment of this and this. It's like a split. It's like your life as you knew it then to it's completely changed in the next moment. But if you ask for help, if you ask for guidance, if you ask for clarity, you will receive that, especially if you're on the brink of a breakthrough, if you're on the brink of finally wanting better for yourself and doing what you need to do that. We are all destined to have very deep relationships with people, to really deeply connect with people. And our mainstream society doesn't promote that. Our mainstream society promotes being cold, hurting people, sexuality, which none of these things, like sexuality isn't bad, but we're promoting sexuality to a point that that's all anybody has. That's all anybody got to them, because nobody's willing to go deeper and realize that they're more than their bodies, more than their face, more than what they have to offer in the bedroom. Anybody can be more than that. And we are made to be more than that. And we just need to really realize that we are better than that, and that we were created better than that, to actually serve a really divine purpose and connect deeper with people. Even if we don't necessarily agree with people, even if for a time we have to be alone and isolated. I was isolated multiple times in my life along my spiritual journey since my first awakening. But this past year, during the pandemic and everything, I was completely alone. I literally was on my own, isolated, away from where I grew up, what I was comfortable with, in a brand new environment. And I completely was isolated and had to go deep, had to heal, had to do shadow work. Because I was shown visions of what it will bring me if I do. And if you commit and if you follow the calling, you will get the same. And I just felt very called to share this with whoever this is for, that you can have better, you can have deeper, you can have more connectivity. But connect with yourself, connect with that truth that keeps knocking on your door every time you're alone. Every time it gets you alone, it's knocking at you. It's really calling to you. Stop numbing it, because it's going to happen eventually, because you're being called by higher forces. You have a higher mission here. You have a higher purpose. Follow the call. Answer it. Answer the call. And I promise you that it'll be worth it. It's not easy, but life isn't easy in general. The reward is very much fulfilling. The whole journey is fulfilling. Learning more about yourself. Realizing the lessons you've learned in the past. Realizing what the times you've been hurt actually taught you. Actually examining your life instead of just cycling and cycling and cycling. Meeting the same people in different clothes with different faces. There's better for you if you choose to answer the call. So I hope that this resonated with who it was meant to. If it triggered you, it was meant to. Also, for those in divine connections, you're being called as a union to step up, and you're getting a brand new slate. You're getting a brand new slate. I'm seeing divine unions being like the past and everything with it just being pulled out from under you, and all those burdens and all those the eyes that you see through that keep you from seeing your partner in this positive light. These things are being shedded and being totally discarded, so that you can fully step into your purpose together and your divine godly mission together. It's a complete new slate is what I'm seeing and feeling. So if you've been going through somewhat of a cyclical rough patch with your partner, know that it's coming to an end. That is the channel message that came through. Again, hope this resonated with who it was meant to, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day.